I do think it's a position that every year we got to address in some way, fashion, or form.
Here, Indiana move. We from Indiana. We from Indiana move. I'm an Indiana move.
Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. And he lost the ball. There's a fumble. Who's got it? The officials say the Colts do. Downfield, intercepted, coming forward and making the INT for the Colts in the back end. To see the Colts win Super Bowl. Hey, win on three. 1, 2, 3, win!
Welcome back to the channel. This is Marcus Sniffles, and we have kind of reached a little bit of a lull when it comes to free agency. We've kind of gone through the big name signings in week 1, a little bit of the, minor secondary players, that wave. And now we're kind of gotten to the point where a lot of free agents are now going to start waiting until after the draft to sign up with a team or to get picked or to do anything like that. So what we're going to do, we already spoke on Alec Pierce and Daniel Jones getting re-signed by the Colts. Now we're going to talk about the players that we lost, the players that we've got and signed and traded for. And as of right now, did the Colts get better, worse, or stay the same? Before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Every Monday, 7 in the morning, we drop videos about the Colts. So let's get started. The first one that we're going to talk about, one of the free agents that we had, is Braden Smith. Now, he was one of the players that I said in the previous video I should leak in the comments. He's one of the players that I predicted that we would lose. I did believe that we would be outpriced with him, and having Jalen Travis play the last 4 games of the season with no real issues would make it a lot easier for Braden Smith to leave. Now, it sucks that Braden left. I thought he was one of the better offensive linemen. He is great at his position when he's healthy. But the worst part about this is that he goes to a rival AFC South team in the Houston Texans. And this is a double whammy because the Texans' offensive line is terrible. And if Braden Smith is on your offensive line, at least he will be good at his position. There's a possibility of him potentially playing guard over there. But if he's their right tackle or their right guard or whatever, I know that Braden Smith is going to be good. And so that it sucks. It doesn't suck that Braden Smith got paid. It just sucks that he went to Houston to get paid. So that's kind of trash, but good luck to him. I hope he stays healthy. Another player that we lost, Samson Ebukam. Kwity Paye. Samson Ebukam went to the Atlanta Falcons. Kwity Paye went to the Raiders. Kwity Paye is going to be an interesting one to watch because he's going to go to Las Vegas, and with Max Crosby potentially still being on that team, he's going to see a lot of one-on-one matchups, and he's still not going to do anything because he didn't do anything in Indianapolis. Liatu Latu got a lot of double teams. DeForest Buckner got a lot of double teams. Kwity Paye had a lot of one-on-ones. Didn't do anything. So for Raiders fans thinking that, oh, well, he's going to free up Max Crosby. No, he's not. He's going to get stonewalled. Samson Ebukam, I just think his days of being a productive player with his Achilles injury, he's just going to be a guy. Now, one of the players that we lost that actually was something that it did hurt was losing Nick Cross. I thought he was a player that we needed to bring back and that we should have brought back. And if you believe the reports, the money that we offered him was comparable to what Washington offered him. The thing that I did not know about Nick Cross is he's from the DC area. So I'm not mad at him choosing to go home and, be around his family for the same amount of money as opposed to staying in Indy. So I wish Nick Cross all the best luck in the world. Hope he stays healthy. He got to his second contract. He's going to be a great safety over there because I think he was on his way to being one of the better safeties in the NFL. So it sucks to see him go. Another player that I pretty much knew that we were going to lose and we should have let go is Zaire Franklin. Now, a lot of Colts fans don't like him. They don't like his antics. They don't like how he talks on and off the field. He also did not produce well on the field either. But I got to give Zaire Franklin his credit and his props. He's one of the better stories in the NFL. Like the way that we talk about Kenny Moore going from an undrafted rookie to making the team, to being a special teams player, to, you know, being a rotational player, to being a Pro Bowler, to being an All-Pro. That's the same thing with Zaire Franklin. He was a 7th-round pick, had to make the team, which is hard enough as it is. You know, make it to special teams, be a special teams contributor, crack the lineup. Like, you got to remember, we had like Anthony Walker, Bobby Okereke, Shaq Leonard. Like, we had a stout linebacker room, and for him to break the rotation and then eventually be a starter, being a Pro Bowler, leading the league in tackles most of the year, multiple years. I'm not going to act like Zaire Franklin sucked. He sucked last year, but overall, his time in Indianapolis, I would say, has been a positive experience. The fact that we were able to get a player for him in Colby Wooden from Green Bay, I think that's a plus, and we'll talk about him in the next segment. But the main thing about Zaire Franklin getting traded to Green Bay is now, at some point, they're going to announce Tyler Warren is going to be wearing 44, right? Like, that's going to happen. Like, that was his number, like, for his football life until last year. And Zaire Franklin is now gone, so I don't see why he doesn't get that number. And the last player we're going to talk about losing is Michael Pittman Jr. We traded him away to Pittsburgh, and we got a 6th-round pick for him. Now, this trade obviously needed to happen because of the cap hit. But if you believe the reports, this wasn't the best deal for the Colts. This was the best deal for the Steelers. They apparently really wanted Michael Pittman Jr. because once they got him, they gave him a brand new deal, like a 3-year, $60-something million deal. And the reason I say that is because Jalen Waddle from the Dolphins was traded for a 1st-round pick. Now, Jalen Waddle was drafted a year after Michael Pittman Jr., but their numbers aren't that far apart. I think Jalen Waddle is more of a big play receiver, but he's not worth a 1st-round pick, and Michael Pittman is worth a 6th-round pick. Like, their talent and production isn't that great of a difference. So if Chris Ballard decided, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for Michael Pittman and send him to a place that he wants to go and turn down a better trade package, that I don't like when teams do that. I find that annoying, especially when it's my team. Do what's best for the team. Chris Ballard is the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts. If you're going to trade Michael Pittman Jr., that relationship is already over. You might as well get the best return for the trade. Why are we trying to appease Michael Pittman Jr., who is now a Steeler? You don't answer to Michael Pittman Jr. anymore. You answer to Carly Ursay-Gordon and the fans of the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys something. About 90% of you guys that watch this video are not subscribed to the channel. Don't be a weirdo. Subscribe to the channel. Don't be part of the 90%. Be a part of the 10%. And let's get that 10% to 90%. So 90% of you guys that are watching are actually subscribed. That would help me out a lot. Cost you nothing. It's free and I'd appreciate it. So now we're going to talk about the players that we signed and or traded for. The first person we're going to talk about, Colby Wooden. He's the defensive tackle that we got in the Zaire Franklin trade. He's on the last year of his rookie deal. He's a solid run defender, probably just a rotational defensive tackle, maybe a heavy edge, run stopping player. I think he's going to come in and try to prove a lot because this is the last year of his deal. And like it or not, when players are in the last year of their deal, they want to perform because if they don't, there's a possibility their career could be over. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Colby Wooden can do. The next player let's talk about Cam Taylor-Britt, former defensive back from Cincinnati, played under Lou Anarumo and is now going to be back under Lou Anarumo here in Indy. I think that just makes the strength of this defense stronger. You talk about having Travarius Ward, Sauce Gardner, Justin Wally, Kenny Moore, Mekhi Blackman, Cam Mitchell, and now you add Cam Taylor-Britt to that. Like, that's a very, very, very elite defensive back room. Another player we're going to talk about, Akeem Davis Gaither. He's a linebacker from Arizona. He's a younger, faster, more explosive linebacker. He is just average at everything when it comes to run stopping, pass coverage, blitzing, all that stuff. Like, he's not a special player outside of his physical traits, but he's pretty much the outside linebacker and is probably the Jermaine Pratt replacement. I still think we should bring in Jermaine Pratt if no one signs him after the draft, just to have someone that can coach the linebackers on the field and in the film room. But Akeem Davis-Gaither is probably going to be our starting will at the beginning of the season and will be used to help, teach the young players. Another player we'll talk about, Arden Key, defensive end from the Tennessee Titans. I believe he's just competition for JTT. He's an older player, solid pass rusher, solid run stuffer. I just think he's another rotational player. And then the last player we'll talk about, Wanye Thomas, safety out of Dallas. Another young player that just didn't make it through his rookie contract with Dallas. 25 years old, only started 4 games, and he's most likely going to be the Nick Cross replacement. With this signing, it just seems like we're betting on potential and what he could be. He is a physical player. He is fast. He is a run-stopping safety. So for him to kind of step into that Nick Cross position is something that I would expect him to do. Yeah, it seems like with him, they're kind of betting on the physical traits and tools and a little bit of the experience. It's almost like how it was with Nick Cross when we drafted him. He had a lot of the physical traits and abilities. He just didn't have the experience. Signing Wanye Thomas could be the sleeper free agent move of the year for the Colts if he pans out and turns out to be what the Colts think he can be. The only reason he didn't play as much is due to migraines that he suffered. But as long as he can fight through that and be fine with that and go out there and produce and play, I believe Lou Anarumo can get the best out of him. And I think we found our starting safety. You made it this far. If you have not liked the video at this point, what are you waiting for? Just like the video. Hit the like button right now. I'm talking to you. Make sure you like the video and subscribe and drop a comment. All that stuff. This is a threat. Not a threat, a warning. But it could be a threat. Just do it. So based on the players that we've lost and the players that we've signed already, I kind of feel like we're in the middle a little bit. Like at strong safety right now, based on what we know, we got worse. You lose a player like Nick Cross, you got worse at strong safety. Now, if Wanye Thomas turns into something, we'll revisit this conversation. I do believe we got better at linebacker because we couldn't get worse at linebacker. Like, I give Zaire Franklin all the props in the world for being and getting to where he got, but he was one of the worst linebackers in the NFL last year. So just putting anybody in his spot is an upgrade. I feel the same way about defensive line. Kwity Paye, Samson Ebukam, they weren't really giving us anything. So just swapping them out for cheaper, younger players or a little bit more average players is a win. And I think that just makes it so where come draft time, we just got to focus on the front 7. If we draft another defensive end with our first pick in the second round, I'm fine with that. We draft a linebacker, I'm going to be ecstatic about that. We draft a defensive tackle to be a rotational player. I'm fine with that also. And low-key, if we draft a safety, we draft another safety, I'm cool with that too. I just want to bring in younger, faster defensive players. So all in all, I think the Colts have gotten a little bit better throughout free agency with, bringing back Alec Pierce, moving off of Michael Pittman Jr.'s contract, moving on from Zaire Franklin, moving on from Kwity Paye and Samson Ebukam, and bringing in potential talent like Wanye Thomas, Akeem Davis-Gaither, Colby Wooden. I think we got a little bit better. At least cap situationally, we got better. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did the Colts get better? Did we get worse? Did we stay the same? Maybe that's what we did. Maybe we just stayed the same. Maybe we're just going to be the same, 7 to 9 win team that we've always been. So let me know in the comments. Every Monday, 7 in the morning, we're dropping Colts content on YouTube. So make sure you guys turn those notifications on so you don't miss anything. And I'll see you on the next video. Go Colts.
Thanks for watching, babe. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.